Alright, welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to be talking about features I wish Tesla would do. So recently I've been talking about 10 things I don't really like, 10 things I like, and here's the feedback one. So the ones I didn't like was, I guess, more around hardware. Things I do like, I think, is combination of software and hardware, and this one is around opportunities, mainly more from the software side of things, around improvements. So I've looked in terms of software updates. So since taking delivery of this car in February, there's been 10 software updates, and so who knows, maybe some of these features are going to get done sometime in the near future, hopefully. I'm going to post this on Twitter as well, so if you do see the post on Twitter, please jump in there, comment, and we'll see what we can do, or if there is a way that we can get feedback through to the dev guys in Tesla, then by all means help share and comment as you go through. So a couple of these are very specific to Sentry mode, and then a lot of the others are, I guess, just in general. So first things first. Sentry mode. So I would love to have a windscreen setting, or a windscreen button to, I guess, do the manual wipe or sweep for Sentry. And it doesn't necessarily have to be Sentry mode, actually. It's more because of Sentry mode. So the key use case for this is rainy days. So have you ever wanted to check Sentry Cam on a rainy day, only to essentially see water drops? So, it's glass all at the front and the cameras are just up there. So if it's all rainy and the cameras are right there, you literally see nothing. It's also hard to see the sides on the fenders and the rear. I get that. The rear is probably the best place put, where you can actually potentially see something. Fenders not so much, but the front camera in particular, if it's raining, it can't sweep and you can't swipe, and all you see is raindrops. So not very helpful in that case. And considering a lot of other things can be controlled through the software, I would think that you'd be able to do like a manual sweep or a wipe in that instance. So there you go, that's the first one. Second one over here is live notifications on phone. So you've seen that, or you may have seen the Tesla promo video that it tells you that, or it shows you that you do have Sentry notifications. Now I've Googled this a fair bit, and it seems like you do get notifications only in the event, I think, of someone's actually hit your car, or I think the glass is broken, or someone's opened the door while it's locked. I think those are the ones. If I've got it totally wrong, then please jump in and correct me. But what I'd like, instead of coming back to my car to see, for example, there are 7 Sentry notifications, is if it has been triggered, send me a notification so I can check. And in Australia we do have the 15-minute limit. If that's still the case, then so be it, if that's what the agreement is between Telstra and Tesla. But so I'd love to essentially get live notifications, because I'd prefer to get a notification on the spot and address it, whether it's quickly going back to my car, or just to know that it was just some person walking by, as opposed to coming back to my car to see however many notifications there is, and then I'd potentially want to scroll through all of them. Okay, so number 3, playback and scrub speed. So I'll put up a video overlay here in a moment. Essentially you can see that the scrolling isn't always smooth and accurate, and yes, there's a red dot to where the Sentry event was triggered, but if, for instance, you wanted to see a bit further back, you can see this video is 10 minutes 49 seconds. I don't have 10 minutes 49 seconds to look through. I'd like to be able to scrub at 2 times or 3 times speed at minimum, in order to kind of get through the video and to see what I need to see. So if that could work, then I'd be really happy. Next one, messages to reread before sending. Now, it's known as Tesla Model Y, and I guess the Model 3 too. It's known as a really, really safe car, right? One of the safest in the world. And I think in Euro NCAP, I think it was also one of the safest cars as well. Either way, safety ranking aside, safety is in the DNA of the company. And so why does the message not read out to me if I'm about to send a message. So for the ones that aren't too familiar, on the right scroll wheel on the steering wheel, you need to push that down, then that activates the voice command. If you then want to send a message, it shows you on the screen on the bottom, and I'll put up a video overlay here in a moment, of what you're sending. And so it does produce that as text, but you still have to see, or you have to look down to read what it is. And then it tells you to push once to send, and then you push twice to restart it or to change your message. So I'll pause the video here. I'll put the overlay on the video of us sending a message just to show you guys what I mean. And yeah, you'll get it in a quick moment. But overall, I would love to have the messages read out to me as confirmation, so that I can then decide whether or not it's correct or not without taking my eyes off the road. Send message to Elon Musk. I've got a lot of things that I need to tell you about the car. There are certain things that I like. There are also things that I don't like. And I want to book some time to tell you what features I think should go in the next revision. So as you can see there, all it says is press once to send to Elon Musk and double press to retry. It doesn't read anything out to you, and so not helpful considering that you need to have your eyes on the road, but then at the same time you're also needing to read the darn message. And again, that kind of comes back to the whole reason why kind of Apple CarPlay, Android Auto kind of works really well, because it kind of does talk back to you and gives you those prompts. Okay, next one, the App Store, or a few more preloaded apps. So WhatsApp as the messaging app, I'd like to potentially see that. Again, it's not a game changer, but it's something that I personally use, and I know a lot of people do use, since it's one of the top most downloaded apps on both Android and Apple. And then of course, I've mentioned this before, I'd love to have an ABC Kids app. Again, these aren't game changers. You can still use your phone, via Bluetooth if you want. But it would be really cool if you'd had those two. And then I'm sure that there are other apps that people like that you'd want to ensure that is included too. Like Audible for audiobooks. Instead of playing it through Bluetooth speaker into the car, it'd be fantastic if there was an app there too. Okay, cameras. We have so many cameras here in the car. Why don't you just let us use it? So when you push the camera button on the car, the preview, it just shows you the back and the two fenders. When you look at it from Sentry mode, you see the front, back, left, right. Why don't you also give us the option to use the other ones? You've got the pillar ones, you've also got narrow, wide, and all of that. That's a perfect way to kind of form that whole 360-degree visualization. I'll park the comment on the fact that you can't point down to see your wheels if you're driving through tight spots, but you've got the ability to do all of that. You can actually put together a fantastic 360 aerial image because of all the cameras. So if you've got that much choice, why don't you just give us the function? Next one, aircon. So I did mention this in what I don't like, and I would love it. I would love it fixed. I would love it fixed so much that I've included this again over here, and that's the temperature of the aircon. So the temperature wise, you can see that, and I'll put a picture up here shortly. 20 degrees is supposedly on the cooler side in a lot of cars, but over here you can see it's almost in the middle. And so that's only the start of getting cool. I'd be expecting to be pretty cold if I need to set it at 20 degrees. So yeah, fix your thermostat, Elon. Okay, and then the next one we've got here is the green traffic light chime. It is not always accurate. The way the car's programmed is it will just chime if there's a green light. And I get it, it technically does what it's saying it needs to do. But if I'm navigating somewhere, and for instance, I'm going straight and the light's currently red, I don't want it to chime green. If turning right or turning left says you can go, but it's still a red light. It could cause an accident one day. You know, it's kind of giving us false hope. So yeah, I figured if you're already going to do half the job and notify us if it's green, can you at least notify us when it's actually green and good to go? Okay, and yeah, number 9, we've got the Tesla app. So what I'm talking about is the charging time finished as opposed to time remaining. So when you plug in your car, and I'll see if I can get a photo or a video up, it tells you however long you have left. That's perfectly fine, but could we not have the option if we just touched it or tapped it to then tell us what time it's actually going to finish? There are other apps that obviously can integrate and kind of tell us that, but for instance, if I start plugging it in at midnight and it says it'll be done in 3 hours, that's a very easy one to work through, and I know that that's 3 a.m. And I guess in terms of use case, you know, there's quite a few, right? And for me personally, I think it would be best if you're trying to plan your day. So if you just need to plug your charge in at whatever location, as opposed to working out any funky numbers, as opposed to just straight like 2 hours, you know, 2 hours from whatever time now is the 2 hours. But what if, you know, for instance, you need to go somewhere to pick someone up and you have to leave at this time? It'd be fantastic to then just be able to plug in, once you're plugged in, to just see that, you know, your car will finish charging at this time. And if you know that you wait, then you know you need to, you'll potentially be late and so forth. I just think it's a nice addition to have that flip around data. So instead of just knowing what time or how long left, it's what time are you actually going to be done. And so the last item that I think Tesla should definitely put right to the front of their backlog in terms of software development is Dashcam overlay. And what I mean by that is the speed overlay. So I've been using Dashcams for 10, 11 years or maybe even longer. And one of the things I absolutely love about the Dashcams is date, timestamp and speed overlay. And so the reason why you have a Dashcam is obviously for the added protection, and it's fantastic if you could you know, have date timestamps of whatever it is for insurance purposes. And also, you know, if you ever need to try prove whether it's valid or not, at least it's something that you could take to try prove you weren't speeding. And so I think that's going to be a fantastic benefit. As you can see, I'll overlay some general Dashcam videos here for you, where you can see the date, time, speed and all of that. And there's also location, I guess, in the file data. If Tesla could do that, that would be amazing. We already know that the data is already captured in terms of average speed or the speed where you're going, the location and all of that. All of that is something that is already recorded today. So why not give us the added benefit of writing into the files themselves in terms of an overlay of what speed you were doing as the video plays through the Dashcam, the date, time, specific location as well. And it doesn't necessarily have to be, I guess, a part of the actual file where you see on screen. Maybe it's an option where you could tick it on and off to see and extract exactly what you like, or at least maybe if there's a desktop viewer that does that, or if it's just a file that's written into there and you can have a look at it whilst you've loaded it up on computer, that'd be all pretty cool. But yeah, I think having the additional information that Tesla already captures as an overlay on the Dashcam videos, I think that'd be really, really good, because yeah, for all those various reasons I've mentioned, especially about trying to get out of speeding fines, because I'm sure some of you guys may have a heavier foot. So yeah, I think that wraps up the video, guys. Thanks again for tuning in. If you did enjoy this video, give it a like and subscribe, as it helps my channel go a long way. And yeah, let's keep the discussion going. Let me know what you guys think of the software updates that I've mentioned. Is there anything else you feel like I've mentioned, or anything you even disagree about? But my number one thing out of all of those software updates is probably going to be that Dashcam feature, if not Sentry mode and doing the sweep, so that you could essentially see it all the time. Either way, as I said, give it a like and subscribe, and watch this space. One of my next upcoming videos is going to be most likely another run for 0 to 100 time. We're going to give that another go, just maybe on the highway. And then it's heading up to 6 months for me owning the car. So I'll give you my thoughts on the transition to EV and some key differences I've noticed over the past 6 months of ownership. And yeah, on that note, if there's anything in particular you want to know about that, so I can include it in my video, drop it down in the comment box below. But otherwise, we shall see you soon.